Corruption threatens sustainable economic development, ethical values, and justice. It endangers the rule of law. It undermines the institutions and values of our democracy. Many acts of corruption deprive citizens of their constitutional human rights, and we have seen corrupt practices in different sectors of the economy, even to the common man on the street. It is unbecoming, and today on the show we shall discuss it. My name is Joyce Iakwari, and I just want to appreciate you for tuning in to watch this episode of today's live. We are open to taking your comments on Facebook and on YouTube. We are live there. You can send in your comments and we'll take it live on the show because we would like to hear from you, and it is interactive. Joining me on the show is Engineer Tony J. Nakale and Sambo Solomon. Together we shall do this. You're welcome on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You look all blue.
The sky is blue.
Well, let's go straight into the business of the day. Corruption is a critical problem in Nigeria and in the world at large. We've seen it in so many sectors, just like I mentioned, with the people that are occupying positions of respect and authority, and to the trader in the market, and to the common man on the street, and even to the educational sector, where we have the cases of the lecturers, the students, and so many of the factors. Then, like we always say, it doesn't necessarily have to do with money, funds, and finances. It has to do even with dishonesty, you know, and gaining maybe power or whatsoever benefit despite the human feelings, or despite what you are supposed to do. So briefly, let's discuss what corruption is in total, and mentioning the various forms of corrupt practices.
Well,
it's an open discussion.
You started by saying we look all blue.
Yes.
But you didn't say why you said that. Should we leave you alone to do your show because you decide to be a corrupt producer, to wear yellow while everybody's wearing blue? You know?
That's just breaking in between.
People have been so serious, you needed to make them laugh, which is very, very okay. We like to look at one side of corruption, and then we hate to focus on the other sides of the corruption. And then everybody has tendencies of corruption. You know, everybody has tendencies of corruption. If you think corruption is only when you collect money to do something, or when you loot public funds, or when that's not just what corruption means. Corruption, even when you are not being truthful to someone, you are being corrupt. You are depriving the person of his right to know certain things, you know. And so corruption is all round, is everywhere in our daily lives. You know, people are corrupt. People at various places of work, people are paid to do stuff. They don't do it. They wait for salary at the end of the month. It's corruption. Is corruption. And then when you have money to pay people who have worked, but you don't pay them, it's also corruption. When you come to work and you try to influence people to be who you want them to be at work, it's corruption. When you deprive the citizens of your state the right to enjoy what is due them as citizens, it's corruption. It's just unfortunate that there is a particular kind of corruption that is so loud that without amplifying it, everybody gets to hear. When you hear that somebody made away with like $10 billion, something that can feed a whole state, $10 billion US. Imagine, I think it was yesterday on the show that we were talking, and I said, we didn't work with investors for several years. So the absence of investors in the next 2-3 years will not do any harm, because people are just so used to the system being the way it is. What we are asking for is security and all of that. That was for yesterday. But for today, if we are looking at corruption, we have to look at corruption in every facet, Joyce. We have to look at corruption in every facet. The man who is at home saying, our leaders are corrupt, our leaders are corrupt. They pay you 50,000 at work. You came home and told your wife, 15,000, they manage for Bakudi. You are corrupt. So they should be telling you the same thing that they are telling. So everybody is guilty one way or the other of the issue of corruption. You look at the church today, there's corruption. This politics that everybody is playing in church is corruption. It's corruption. You have selfish interest. You want to gain something. You want to do this. Unfortunately, people even gather pastors to say, when election comes, let's vote this person. Elders, when election comes, this person, he is of a different opinion. It's corruption. It's corruption. Of course, you can do such things for the common good of the church if your intentions and your heart are as well pure. You know? So if we are looking at corruption, let's not look at corruption the regular way people look at it. Let's make the difference. We are a church. Let's make a difference. Let everybody know the meaning of corruption. And if you are corrupt, stop. You know, somebody has been doing something he doesn't even know is wrong. Until the day he's told, this thing is wrong. Then the person stops. So corruption is not just being in looting of public funds or having access to funds that are meant for certain things and you take it away. That's not just the only thing that is corruption. If you are a pastor, you don't preach the message that deals with your erroneous lifestyle. You are a corrupt pastor. You are depriving people of what they should. So because you know that you are also not graced or strengthened in this area, you keep these topics. Preach it. Preach it. The message can be for you as well. Let's not hoard things, especially leaders. That's where you mostly find the issue of corruption. Not following well is also corruption. So.
With that being said,
yes, I think you can take a break. Let me bow out.
Yes, well said. I think we have already laid the preamble. I feel, corruption is is finding yourself in a position and then using the position to deprive people from what they're supposed to get or what they're supposed to enjoy or what they're supposed to know. So once you deprive people from that, just know it at the back of your mind that you are corrupt. And like he rightly said, corruption is not in just one dimension. You look at it in all ramifications because it cuts across every aspect of our life. As human beings. If you are an elder brother, and then you are expected, to share sweet or biscuit to your younger ones, and then you don't share it well. It's corruption. It's corruption. So people don't look at it from that angle. So you just look at it from the angle of leaders, just like the way he said, because they are up there, so you can easily see them. So whatever they do, people easily say these people or this leader is not treating us right, and this is what is doing, and the rest. So it can just be, you can be corrupt with your word, using your word to influence people wrongly, like he said. It's corruption because you look at how even corruption takes place. There's a process. It starts with words. That's how it starts. Okay, how do you see this? No, this is not right. No, you don't see it that way, like it's not right. You see, this thing is not really stealing like that, because so person that has been there, is from so region. So, like now, this is our turn. We are from this region. So don't see it like that. Maybe somebody is kicking it, and then you are using word now trying to brainwash the person to agree on doing what is wrong. And then before you know it, the person concur, or the people concur, and then the act takes place. Like what we are saying earlier in the morning. You see, for a organized setting and someone to pick 100,000, it can't just be only him. It can't just work. Definitely it must pass through one or two people. Just 100,000, and then you talk about billions of naira, and then it's just one person we are talking. I think it's deeper than that.
Most at times
you want to contribute to.
Yes, I'm not on the show.
Okay, I thought you were an uncle.
Most of the times we always tag bribery and corruption together. We marry them together, that the two are interchange for the meanings are interchanged for one thing or the other. We don't really see corruption as having to do with all these aspects that you talked about. We only target to maybe money, funds, or embezzlement, graft, but because bribery is involved. But when we see it as something that any other person can be guilty of, something that even a layman, a common man on the street can be guilty of, then we will know it has eaten deep even into our system. We've seen cases so many times where in the news or experiences, indirect, relating with others, we've seen cases where someone can come and tell you, they don't pay me well at my work, and that's why I'm helping myself. It's because of that Nigerian phrase that, is it where you walk, you eat where you walk, or something like that. We give excuses for a lot of these things. We make excuses. Or there are times that maybe at the mechanic workshop, you want to see you as a woman or seeing you as a young person. They might want to cheat you based on, this person doesn't really know, let me exploit the person. It is corruption. That person is being corrupt. The system is so corrupt that we only see it at the highest points of it. But I like to look at the government from the high to the low. That's the people up there to the citizens. That is not like, okay, there are differences, but at least that's how the structure is. And I would like to look at it like that to really understand the effect of these corrupt practices even in our nation or even in the world. Because if we just limit it to Nigeria, even though Nigeria, yes, has been ranked one of the, is in the table of being the highest, but we travel, we mingle with other people, we've been to other countries, we have friends in other countries, and they get surprised when things happen, or when you explain to them, okay, this is what's happening in your country, and be like, really, it can really happen in your country? And all, there are people that don't even pay tax. There are people that, since receiving their salary, they've never paid, but they complain about bad roads, they complain about healthcare system, they complain about so many of these things. So I just want us to, talk about the effect. Like, okay, before the effect, do you think corrupt practices, based on what I've explained, can be justified based on, okay, you're not paid so well and you try to tap, based on, okay, the healthcare system is not working in Nigeria and you refuse to pay your tax, based on this is budgeted for some certain people and maybe it wasn't followed through, and maybe it was just an organization that was put in place, they released the fund and no one is asking, so let me keep it to myself. Do you think these things are justifiable?
Me or Solo?
Both of you.
I don't think so. You can't justify what is wrong. What is wrong, it's wrong. What is wrong is wrong. You can't justify it. The only difference is that if you are a Christian, and we being a Christian doesn't mean you don't have a tendency of being corrupt, but you have a certain control over such things because of who is in you. You understand? Because of who is in you. Like, okay, in some cases, like you find that you are in a place that you can get away with certain things, and then nobody will get to know, no matter how, only God, because of how you are being positioned. But you are being left at that particular point with your conscience of who do you believe, and then are you acting according to your belief? Because there's this say that said, a true Christian or a true believer when he finds himself alone in a place that he can do wrong thing.
But do you think it will have to go with belief or just being a good person?
No, I'm just saying, I'm just looking at it. I'm just looking at it from this angle. That's why I say it's not only Christian, because we have those that doesn't even believe in Christ, and they have good morals. They have good morals. We have other people in other religions that are very good, that when you talk about things that are wrong, they stand against it, they talk about it, and they frown against it. That one, they are morals. But when you go extra mile to somebody that is a believer, already you stand out. Because already you know there's a place you are standing as a believer of Christ. You know there are certain things that you are not supposed to do. So what is wrong, it's wrong according to the Bible. So there's no way you do something wrong and then you find a way of justifying it. Anything that is wrong, it's wrong.
Okay, may I have the privilege to
An honor.
An honor to hear your own input.
Okay. Apart from the one he said.
Yes.
Solo said it all. It's like calling a spade what it is. If this thing is wrong, there's no point doing it. No matter how you look for right reasons to do it. No matter how you are able to defend it at the end of the day. Now, look at God. Look at Adam. Look at Adam and Eve in the garden. God said he created the garden and he put them inside. And he put 4 different streams. God, as almighty as he is, 4, in case one dries up. Wow. God, as almighty as he is. This point is coming from what you said earlier, that people say, I have to make ends meet. And you don't have to be corrupt making ends meet. You don't have to be corrupt making ends meet. I have a secret, Joyce, that I've used for a very long time. I don't know who taught me, but I have had this secret for a very long time in my life. And it's like a propelling force in anything that I decide to do that is of essence to me. Talking about work. 2 things pay you when you work. The first one is money. The second one is experience. The mistake that people mostly go for is they pick the money and leave the experience. I pick experience to pay me first, then money. Because when experience pays you, experience tells you how to work better next time. Money doesn't. So you look for the money, you look for it, you get it. At the end, the money doesn't even go home. They say it's take home pay. Haven't you met people who are paid today, 2 days later they are borrowing? But if you have experience within the month while you work, you can't borrow any experience anywhere. You have it already in you. So when you go for something, you go for the experience. It keeps you far from being a thief wherever you work. Because look, you people hear me every day, I say it in Equa Television. I make people work so hard. Tomorrow, haven't we had people who have left?
Yeah.
Did we follow them to remove what they have learned here from their head? No. You will go somewhere, you will use the same productivity, the same thing that you have learned, you will apply there even if it's a welding job. There's punctuality in it. There's discipline in it. There may not be camera in it. But there's punctuality, there's discipline, there's experience. So, why did I bring such a point that sounds a little obscure? It's not. If you like to gain experience, now you are talking, you are paid 20,000 and 20,000 is not fruitful. 20,000 cannot go anywhere. Can you sacrifice 10,000 from the 20,000 to invest? When you close at 4, you find something to do from 4 to 6, 7 before going home, so that you can have diverse streams of income. When you find people who tell you, let's say you work in CBN, and then at the end of the month you are paid, and then Joyce, you don't have time, you rush to a boutique and picked up a shirt, and people see you, CBN money. Do you know the kind of people that talk that way? They are the people that have just one stream of income. Any other thing is not possible for them. We work in a place where from morning till almost the next morning you are here. So people don't have an idea. What else you do? Sometimes I pick my phone, I see Equa TV staff selling stuff online. I try to comment, I try to share. I am the one who came here and told people how that you can be productive. Find a way of being productive without it taking your time. There are several ways you can be productive. Don't just buy data. and post pictures. Don't just buy data and post new shoes. Don't just buy. No, look for something that the data can sell to bring more money for you to afford more. You see, I see people selling clothes. I see people like that. Before long, that issue of corruption will be dead in their heads. But if you are idle, you are collecting 20,000, you will steal diesel. You are idle, you are collecting 20,000, you will steal detergent. You are idle, you are collecting 20,000, you will steal camera. You are idle, you are collecting 20,000, you will rent camera, we don't know. You are idle, you are collecting 20,000, you will rent mixer, we don't know. Yeah, these are things that will give you money, but there are costs around them you will not know. Why can't you make money in a legitimate way and enjoy it? And enjoy it. When you are paid salary, how do you feel? Oh, this is my labor. I'm being paid. You are happy. I'm telling you, you are happier spending your salary than any other money.
It's true.
You work for it. How can people be happy spending money they stole on their families? How can? Especially people who steal from church. With these few points of mine.
Well, like I said, corruption is practiced.
Joyce, it's giving people cold coffee, not corruption.
It is, and I'm against that. I think I should hold a placard.
You are the producer of this show. You are the one that is I don't want to use that word on you.
I believe the atmosphere.
No,
the atmosphere in the studio can also make the coffee get cold if you don't take it.
We'll set up a committee to look into that later, with allowances, of course, for sitting. Well,
and we are talking about corruption. Tea committee in church.
We've been talking corruption, and I know we checked other sectors, but it's important to note, just like we've been saying, corruption can be practiced in different sectors of life, and it's not just about the government officials. Today, I want to allow the government officials or people in position to at least breathe. Then let's talk to ourselves, meaning ourselves, that means the family men, that means family, schools, whatsoever sector it is, the human angle where people can relate, and at least it can prick people's conscience. We are talking the festive period now. We are talking not even the festive period. We're talking the nation as a whole. We are pointing fingers at a lot of other people without really judging our own selves, without really considering that, okay, I am doing this wrongly too. Just because this person is sinning in a different way doesn't mean that his own is bigger than mine. You might be in charge of maybe a diesel supply to an organization, but when you remove some liters from it and supply it to that organization, you are corrupt. So many of these things, and I would like to hear from people that are watching us, how can we make it better? What are the various ways that people are corrupt, and the effect too, even as little as we see it, how it can affect
this
us.
This is a touchy subject. Nobody wants to say anything about it.
I
have comments.
Okay,
if you want to hear.
But
yes, I would let us take a break when we come back from
okay.
it. Yes, I just want more people, maybe breathe a bit, get their phone, and allow the Holy Spirit talk to you. Then you can comment to.
You see, I know you are about to take a break, but
yes.
I'm telling you, all of us are corrupt. We just try to work hard to stop being corrupt. Because like we established earlier, it's not just when you steal money that is corruption. If you steal money, it's corruption. When somebody collects money from you the wrong way, it's also corruption. So it's a ring, it rings around.
Do you have anything to say?
No, before we take the break.
Okay, please let's take this break. When we come back, we'll be hearing from your comments on Facebook. We'll be reading out, and today we are concentrating on us, and leaving out the people in position, because mostly fingers are pointed at them. Let's take this break. We'll be back. All right, welcome back. We are talking corruption in the studio today. On today's live, I have Engineer Tony Nakali and I have Sambo Solomon on the set with me. And I would like us to take the comments that we have on Facebook. Then we can discuss further.
Well, there's a few of them here. We have John B.J. Koyan Jr. He says, thank God for the program. Binta Begi says, God bless you, sir. That's very correct. Haruna Ogayahaya Bambuka. Yeah, this is the two things in life.
What's that? Bribery and corruption, or what? He didn't specify.
I just read his comment. Okay, so you want me to be corrupt by adding things he didn't say? He said, yeah, this is the two things in life.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
you can read it if you want to.
No, I believe you. I believe you. If you can complete your sentence, please. What are the two things in life? Is it bribery and corruption, or is it today's life, or what is it that you mean by that? But well, we've been talking corruption, and thank you too for your input on Facebook. There's a scenario. There's something that happened recently. That's the collapse of the 21-story building in Lagos, and after that, I don't know if you have seen the videos of some block industries, where people went there and just by a touch, they block bricks, and not like breaks into two, it shatters and all. I don't know if we have that video available. It's on the screen. You can see it. This is, I don't really know how to tag this, but it's a wrong thing to do. If you have this certain, let's say blocks, for example, maybe you're contracted to build, look at the
blocks and look at the caption corruption on it.
If you are being contracted and use this block at the end of the day, you are putting a lot of lives at risk. Imagine just by a touch and these things, see, breaks. Like, how can you have a building of this with these materials being used and you expect maybe to go, I'm not saying these were the materials that were used for the 21-story building, but I'm saying these are the things that are found. This is a block industry.
Let's come back
and
to
they are
the
the
studio.
things that are found. Please, let's come back to the studio. They are the things that are found, and they are accessible for purchase in our different industries. What do you have to say about this?
These things are systemic, Joyce. Like all these Gwari blocks that we... If the Ekwa president is watching, I'm sorry. It's just a joke. He just came out. Okay, sorry. Joyce, Akwari, sorry. But honestly, some things are laughable. Some things are... You laugh at some things. Like, what is this, for instance? For God's sake. What is this? You are not building, even if it's a place where animals are staying. Their lives don't matter. Even if you will eventually kill them and eat, their lives should matter while they are alive. Governor Zulum. I saw him do the same thing with some blocks.
Yes.
He went around. Joyce, some of these things are systemic. Most of them, 99.9% of why Nigeria is as corrupt as she is today, is a system problem. It's a system problem. I remember one president in Ekwa who built a facility, and he compared the same facility with same facility government did very close to that facility. We had the amounts, like what was spent in this one and what was spent on this one. It's outrageous. It's the system. We saw a governor in Nigeria, Joyce, who went to prison for purchasing cars at a cheaper rate, dealing directly with the dealer. Bring these cars, bring this whatever it is we want to procure, bring them. And then he was taken to court for not following due process. But he saved government money. But he went to prison. What are we talking about? How can you say our problem is not systemic? It is systemic. Now, look at it this way. Government wants to release budget. The budget will not be released until almost the tail end of the year or halfway through the year. And the budget is for that year. And that is not your financial year. That is not your opening month of the year. If we are talking about budget, In December, the budget of next month, shouldn't it be read against next month and implemented in the next month? Let's start asking ourselves in Nigeria today. You are building a 21-kilometer road. And you hear that the 21-kilometer road, we are spending 700, 800, 900 million on it. It's a system. Somebody can do this thing at 50 million. But before it leaves one office to the other, if you don't have 10 million, it will not move. The file will be there. The project will suffer. So you have to look for 10 million. Definitely you have to increase. You can't bring 10 million from your pocket. You have to increase it from the quote. I did a contract in a state one time. And then while we were working, they increased the magnitude of the job. So I asked, I said, I told the commissioner, I said, it cannot work this way. The commissioner called a contractor that was doing road construction. And he said, do two culverts and add to this road. Just add 2 culverts and put it at this amount. He said, yes, sir. And he left. He said, no. Before you leave, send somebody with 500,000. Let's pay them, Tony, let them. In less than 30 minutes, another person came and brought this money and gave us. It's system, Joyce. It's a system. So you see, they didn't have to look for the money elsewhere. Rather, they inflated something, and it will be settled in a. Only God knows how it will be settled. 2 culverts. Can't you build a culvert with 100,000 or 150,000?
It's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible.
But look at, they gave us 500,000 from that. That means that these 2 culverts might be up to 2 million.
That's what it means.
The government does not do, of course people will come to bid for something, but it's just a formality. They have who they want to give. People, they will ask you, a portal has been created for people to join the Federal Road Safety or join the Nigerian Police. But these people, their mind is made up on who to employ already. Nigerians will just go waste time. Like one time there was I think the paramilitary was the Ministry of what ministry was that again? Interior, that announced that they had jobs, that they had thousands of people apply. I think it was in the former administration also. So our problems are mostly systemic. Why can't we as a nation automate the system in such a way that people have less to do with that? Like, I have worked in a place where you will travel, they will give you the credit card of the company. Yes. You travel from one city to the other. They give you a credit card. When you eat from it, they tell, of course, you already know your allowances from the trip. When you take gas, the company sees that this person has taken gas from the money. Nobody has to, you don't have to make a request. You don't have to make, already you are traveling from state A to state B for this job. They give you the company credit card. You stop at a restaurant, you eat, whatever amount you use the credit card, they see it. You go to a hotel, you pay, you use the credit card, they see it. You can't come and tell them the hotel was $1,000 as a matter of fact, or it's XYZ amount. And then you gas up the car, you stay in a hotel. In the process of the production, in the course of the production, you incur costs. We added diesel to run the gen, 20 liters. Swipe it. The company will see it. Everything. I'm not saying we should do that in Nigeria, but look at the system. Joyce, there is no way you can lie about that. There is no way. The company that is deducting this money from you, they also have an automated auditing system that will check. So you travel to places like that, you don't find things like that going on wrong. You don't find things going wrong. So, but in Nigeria, they say 3 of us are traveling. We apply for a 15,000 naira hotel, and then we go and stay in a 3,000 naira hotel. The rest of the money, even if it is due us, we will come back and lie and say the hotel in that place is 25,000. We will bring receipts and everything. All these things are handwritten. So if the system cannot be automated, Some people tell you, is it not human being that is controlling the computer? In those days. Now, the system is different. How can you control a credit card? You cannot. You swipe, you get the alert. You pay money from whichever country of the world, you get the alert. So you don't care whether it is 1 billion in there, it's not yours.
But how long will it take us, do you think, for us to even achieve that in this country?
Joyce, it starts with nothing but effort.
We have SON, that's the Standard Organization of Nigeria. They are mostly in charge of checking standard products. But we have these blocks in the market. They are accessible for people to go purchase it and buy and build houses. We have the same people too and other agencies that are in charge of overseeing a building. We have civil engineers and all in charge of overseeing a building, going through with it. If it is approved that, okay, it's 15-story building or 2-story, you stand by it. But we see buildings that are approved for 2 stories or 3 go up to 10. It's a high rise that at the end of the day it might crash, but nothing is being done. People are not being taking charge of, like, they are not being what is it called now, accountable. And responsible for it.
I'll tell you something that happened sadly, Joyce. In 2006, 2007, I was with a journalist friend in Abuja. Actually, there were 4 of us. He was working with a government station. He's late now. Yeah. So we walked, then we strolled to take snacks and drinks. And then the woman said her bottled Coke is 100 naira. Then, when Coke was about 40, 50 naira. And George said, "Madam, why?" And Samson, his name. He said, "Why?" She said, no. That this is how they sell their own here, blah, blah, blah. She started raking. The man said, "No, you can't sell this in every other person, every other place. Why is Gwarimpa different, blah, 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 blah." That in fact, he has a number of the man in Standard Organization of Nigeria. He's going to call him. Just to our surprise, the person who owns that shop is working with Standard Organization of Nigeria. System. There is no way he can be checked. They don't even know he has a shop. There is no documentation whatsoever. In Nigeria today, Joyce, can there be any, maybe Bureau of Statistics or anything, or any organization that can tell us the number of shops we have in Nigeria? Do we have anybody that can tell us the number of clinics we have in Nigeria? Do we have anybody that can tell us the exact number, of the gas stations we have in Nigeria? Do we have anybody in Nigeria that can tell us the number of radio stations we have? Do we have anybody in Nigeria that can tell us the number of media houses we have? There are businesses running in Nigeria without registration. There are shops in Nigeria that you just rent a place, you have 20,000, you stock it and start selling. Nobody cares
what you do.
What product are you selling for the benefits of people's health? Nobody cares. Are you burying cocaine somewhere in that shop to sell? Nobody cares. Who is the real owner of that shop? Nobody cares. So you tell me this thing is not systemic?
Just like the other day where some people were arrested for producing soda. You know, the popular Coca-Cola now, some people produce it in their own stores or warehouse where they get maybe the bottles of those empty cans or bottles, then refill them and whatsoever. But I would like us to talk that, and when I come back, I would like to ask you this based on
where
the market. I would like to take a break.
Okay.
Based on the market structure. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll continue the discussion. corruption it is on today's life. And Sambo, I was about to ask you a question before that break. Now, looking at the market structure, we have, I don't know what they call them, but maybe an agency that takes care of prices of the market. The traders are maybe registered under this agency or union or whatever. Then there are times we have hike in prices of things that shouldn't be. You know, then we have maybe scarcity of those things because marketers or traders try to hoard them. What do you have to say about that? That is corruption, actually. Yes. What do you have said about say about that? And do you think there will be a change maybe in the nearest future?
Yeah, we're hopeful because we believe that Nigeria will be better. And then if you look at what is really happening, he have talked a lot concerning that. When you talk about system, you know, it all starts there. But when you talk system, you know, it's more like an organized setting, a system. Something is being put in place to check a particular thing or to monitor a particular thing, and then that system is not working. And then the system cannot just be there because people have to take care of the system, because the system is just there as a platform, but people work there. So you look at it, and then it all goes down to morals. You know, all of these things are happening is because of the decay in our morals today, that you see the abnormal thing now become the normal. And then with the coming of the internet, and then you know, we in this part of the world, we don't know how to embrace things, whether it's technology or anything. There's a way we use it. And even the people that create those things,
they never imagine these things will be used the way we're using them.
That's the point. That's the point. They never imagine. You understand? And when we start using, and they will be like, do I really think of this before creating this or before doing this? They wonder, they baffle. You see, once your moral system, something is wrong with it, then that's the beginning. That's the beginning. Until we talk to ourselves. You see, when I talk morals, then it goes down to me personally, and it goes down to somebody that is a leader, whether in church or in a community or in an organized setting, a government setting or private sector. And then you see, in family setting, you know, before, there are certain things that can't just go, and then people will just look at you. Then we know that a child is for the community. But now a child is just for his mother and his father, to an extent that an uncle or an auntie cannot even discipline a child. You can see how bad it is. So when it comes to that, there are certain things that when a child is growing up, we see it as normal. Okay, let me give this example. You know, me as a parent, you talked about the market setting. Let me use this as an example. I'm a business person. I sell grains, and then I have my little boy that I want to grow. And then anytime we come to the market, and then any small fuel hike or any trouble in town, you begin to create excuses to what you already have in stock, and you begin to tell people, and that child is listening, and you be like, this thing now is difficult to get to,
and maybe it's an old stock, or you're
that's what I'm saying. You know, simply because there's a little chaos in town, and you just feel like, okay, because of movement, because of this, it takes you a lot of stress before you get that particular grain, and then you are selling it, and then the child is like, maybe he may not tell you directly, but you'll be like wondering in his mind, is it not what we have already 6 months ago, and daddy is saying this, or mommy is saying this? What are you teaching the child? So continually, you can imagine the negative impact you get on that child, and before you know it, that child takes over. Or you see a parent going to a school influencing a teacher to give a certain mark on his child, and the child knows simply because of what do they call them? What do they call it? This end of year speech and prize, whatever. And then you see a child collecting prize, calling his name, and the parents are happy, but they know they went to influence the teacher to give a certain mark on certain subject, which the child know that he didn't earn it. And then he collect that, he's happy, the snapping picture, and then tomorrow you entrust that boy with a leadership, maybe after school. Already you have injected something in his brain, so you can see it. So tomorrow now they will say, okay, you are in charge of what do you call it, the name, SON, Standard Organization of Nigeria. The child now is the director there. You get it? So you can imagine what will happen.
You direct nonsense.
So when they said, sir, we just have to do this block this way, because if you don't do it this way, you can't get anything. He was, it's a normal thing. So forget, just give me my own. He doesn't care whether they will build 21-story building with it. He doesn't care. All he's after just to get what he will get at that particular moment, and then not knowing that, the painful part of it that we easily forget. God says he is a God that rewards to fourth generation. And as little as something that you can just do that is wrong and forget easily, like within an hour you forget, God keep account of that. And he can punish you with things that you don't have an idea. The painful part is that when he punish your fourth generation for something that child doesn't even to know about what is coming from. Can't you just sit down and think, yes, I can get away with this. I can steal billions and get away with it. But the punishment, what if it comes in fourth generation? Someone that doesn't have an idea of how I stole that money or how I did wrong. That alone should tell you that I shouldn't inflict that pain to that person. Because God says, I punish to fourth generation if I want to punish. If I want to bless, I bless to fourth generation. So why can't I do something that is good? That even if I don't enjoy, like they said, where you walk, that's where you eat. Yes, you can walk here and see terrible things happen, and you remain who you are and maintain your integrity, and then God will decide to bless your fourth generation. Isn't that? It's
like the instance, what you just said is the instance of the minor case where he embezzled 2 billion naira funds of pensioners. When I opened the comments, there were more of curses, and it is to his generation. More people were commenting because it's the pain, and it was written, captured that most of these pensioners did not even reap the fruits of their labor. At the end of the day, when you look at it, it's so painful. Some people can just do some things out of to service their flamboyant lifestyle.
Look at this, Joyce. Look at this point that I'm sorry to cut in through. I talked about system earlier. Why did the money have to go through somebody? Why? When you employ these people, they wrote their names. You even captured it on the computer. You get the point. You captured it on the computer. The person has an account. Why can't you automate the system where from where the money is approved, it goes straight to the account? Why can't you do that? Why can't you do that? Alerts come with the purpose for the transaction.
True.
My father died when? About 5 years ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago. I'm sorry, I can't remember it right now.
I think 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Now, his pension is some things were coming to him, pension and all of that. When he died, we did the papers and all of that. Till today, a dime did not come. So I spend money, the account goes dormant, and we can't leave it dormant. So I have to put money in the account to reactivate the account to check if there's money. Is the money that I've been putting that has been there? Now, leave that apart. He has children that are working. There are people that they are incapacitated, like they cannot do anything. Why would the money come through you? What did you do? Why? That's, you see what I'm talking when I say system. How did this money? There was one time they told us a story in Nigeria that snake swallowed money. One time they said monkey. One time they said what else?
So many animals.
So I'm wondering, I have dogs, I'm buying food. Like every month, I'm buying bags of food. They didn't know where to go and bring money for me with all the food I'm buying, and their mates are swallowing money. They can't swallow and bring it home. You know,
it's just so sad.
Yeah, it's so sad,
it's
Joyce.
So sad.
How did the money get to him? That's the question we should be asking, not why did he steal the money?
It's true, and there are so many instances of that.
He opened 3 accounts with his with his children, his relatives' name that they don't even know.
That's the point that I'm making. How can you open an account as an individual and even have it work in Nigeria if it's not a system problem? That is it. So we have to go back and check the system. When we talk about system, we're not just talking about, we are talking about system in every facet of government, and everything in Nigeria. Create a system even for the church. Create a system even for the mosque. Every Sunday you see mosques, Friday, mosques will block one road from here all the way 10 kilometers. Sunday, church will block this road all the way. If government has provided adequate security, it is uncalled for.
True.
We should go back and look at this system very well.
Well, we have to wrap up. Our time is fast spent, but is worthy of mention. I would like to take this instance. There was a time that I fell victim of the driver's license, what is it called? Application, where I did it in their office, and at the end of the day, they said it was fake. Because an official stopped me and I presented it, and he was like, "Where did I do that? It's fake." And I said it was in your office, and he was from the same branch. Funny enough, at the end of the day when we went there, because I had to follow up the case. If you are doing this in your office and at the end of the day you're telling me it's fake, didn't I pay money? I paid money and I followed processes. I don't work there, so I don't know the processes. I was guided by someone there, and at the end of the day I got it, and now you're saying it's fake. There should be something done, you know. Is it that I'm compensated, but it's just funny enough that even the justice system, nothing. They just told me, see, do you know what you have to apply? Then another instance was, I went to renew my license after doing another one here on the plateau. Then someone came to report that his wallet was missing with his license in it, that if they can just renew it for him, and how much will it be? And they told him he has to do a new one. And he started, you know, he was angry. He was like, your system doesn't work. Like, how can you say I should renew?
It's just to replace.
You know, that is just to replace. And they said, no, that he has to do another one. They don't have records. So all these things we do, when will it even change? When? At the end of the day.
Joyce, when you go to an office and you just see a computer, some of us who know this system, you know that this is just a scam. You don't have a storage server. You don't have that. And then you have, how many people do you have on the plateau? Millions of people who drive. So how do you intend to store all this information on that small system?
True.
If you say, okay, you have a cloud storage, why can't you bring that information? Till tomorrow, the information on my driver's license is not correct. At least I know when I was born, the year, the month, the date. They are all wrong. If I change the year, I won't change the month and the date. My name, I'm not Makale. That's the name there. So when I asked the guy, he said, that is how I said I couldn't have said my name is Makale.
How?
It was wrongly spelled and nothing was done about it. Well, there are so many
instances. And our time is fast spent, but I just have to make this point within seconds. Somebody won election, or he was pronounced governor, and somebody challenged the case in court. And then they say, okay, so you are not the governor. He won the case in court. Come out. The person should come out and go to jail. He committed the crime. It's an offense. He should come out and go to jail. But they walk out freely. They even give him something. Government will compensate him with another appointment and all that. So if the system is not changed,
recycle things like that. Well, that's all we can take on the show today, but definitely we'll continue from where we are stopping today on other episodes of the show. Our time is fast spent and we have to go. We just want to appreciate you for your comment on Facebook and also on YouTube. For those that we're not able to take, we'll take it subsequently on other shows. My name is Joyce. I had Tony Nakali and Sambo Solomon on the show today. Stay blessed.